Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing well, having a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate you. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please also don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys can do that for me. Of course, guys, look, you know what? It is already starting to ramp up. In regards to Man United's transfer dealings over the next few months. You know, the season hasn't even ended. And you know what? We've got a lot of, I say, anger within the Manchester United fan base. And I'm not surprised. This is something that I predicted before Ineos took over the football club, that they will be having their own idea of building a successful team. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say this is absolutely terrible and, you know, it's not going to work. It might work. It might indeed work. But what it does, it puts a lot of pressure on them because you're using players that, you know what, we would say might not elevate Man United next season. You know, is Liam Delap much better than Rasmus Højlund? Be honest, guys. McAtee, players of that nature are being linked to Manchester United. Is this going to elevate Manchester United? Is it going to make Manchester United a force in the Premier League? Will it? You know, I mean, it is up in the air. It is a punt, so to speak. And, you know, when we're looking at transfers from Manchester United need an experienced striker. This is something that Manchester United need. You know, we can't just keep filling in stopgaps. We can't keep having stopgaps. We can't keep having projects. We can't keep having punts. We need experience up front. We need an experienced striker who can grab the goals. Whether that's Jonathan David, who's going to be a free transfer, you know, or Osimhen, you know, who only cost a little bit more than Delap would cost. You know, why are we looking at another young striker, another one? You know, when we've been experimenting, it seems like forever in regards to young strikers, you know, in regards to the likes of Xerxes and the likes of Rasmus Højlund, you know. It's about time we brought someone in who can actually put the ball in the back of the net, and it's proven to put the ball in the back of the net. No, I really do hope that Delap is a roaring success. I really do hope that. I hope that he is, and that we have nothing to complain about, and we're celebrating, and you know what? He's scoring lots of goals. That's fabulous. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it works out that way. But you know what? In the Premier League, you do need someone who's proven. You do need you. I mean, there are teams in the Premier League at the top of the Premier League right now, including teams like Arsenal, who experiment with players, young players, and it hasn't quite worked out. Sometimes you just have to say, who's scoring the goals in the Premier League at the moment? And you have to get that player. It's a bit like what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. He used to get those players who were scoring goals. Look, if Manchester United bring in Cunha and they bring in Delap, you know, it's okay. It's not like, wow, you know, unbelievable. You know, if Man United just bring in Osimhen and no Cunha, would you prefer that? Would you prefer just Osimhen or Cunha and Delap? Would you? I mean, it's quite a question to ask, isn't it? Because, you know, Osimhen is exactly what we need. I mean, we're crying out for Osimhen. Everyone knows we need Osimhen. But Ornstein, good old friend of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Mr. Ornstein, has spoken in regards to Osimhen, saying that Manchester United are not in for Osimhen. We all know why we're not in for Osimhen, isn't it? The penny pinchers of Ineos, of course. This is why we're not after Osimhen. We ain't got the money, apparently. That is what they're going to tell us. That's the spin that they're going to spin us. And I told you this, guys, yesterday, that they're going to make up all those lies about, you know, we got no money. We go, well, we're at the end of the day, we got no money at the end of the day. Yes, you have got money, but you're just telling everyone you've got no money so you can put the bloody money in your pocket. Don't fall for that rubbish, guys. Don't fall for that rubbish. They are absolute frauds. And this is what this Ineos are doing at the moment, guys. Absolutely. Big up Sanjay, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good. Lisa, what's going on? Hi, good morning, Sal. What's happened on the Osimhen deal? So fed up with Ineos. Me too, mate. Me too. What's the Osimhen blow, Sal? Big up Penny Pinching FC. Absolutely, Kenny. Apparently, according to Ornstein, Kenny, which is Ornstein is basically Sir Jim Ratcliffe's best friend. He's his best friend. They're big pals, you know. whenever something is leaked from the club in regards to, for example, the Mainu situation with the contract, it was leaked by Ineos to Ornstein, right? And Ornstein is one of those guys, you know, is one of those guys, I mean, who suck it up and bring it and splur it out in the media. And that is what happens. Now, he has been told that Osimhen will not be a top target for Manchester United in the summer. For me, this is absolutely terrible. It's terrible. We're not going to get Gutierrez. He might as well go Arsenal, shouldn't he? It's not like Arsenal are much better than us at the moment, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Look, then we're going to get, you know, then Osimhen. What about Osimhen? No, we're not going to get Osimhen either. Oh, we're going to get Liam Delap. That's an Everton signing. If there ever was a signing, an Everton signing, Liam Delap is an Everton signing, guys. Liam Delap is an Everton signing. Let me do my button up. I look nice and smart for you guys. 1 second. Yeah, Liam Delap is an Everton signing. Morning, Baz. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Do we need a right wing back? I suggested we have one of the follow fans said we are stacked with Ahmad. Ahmad's not a real right wing back, and I will not let anyone tell us he's a right. He's not a proper right wing back. He's not proper. Dalot's not good enough. Mazraoui's a fullback. So that is no. I don't want Ahmad as a right wing back option. I think Dalot is not good enough. He's proven he's not good enough. He is a fullback, and so is Mazraoui is a fullback. There's a difference between a right wing back and a fullback. These are not good enough. We need someone like a Frimpong, like a Roger Fernandez. That's what we need. We're not creating anything on that side right now. And even when Ahmad was there, we were not doing it either. I don't think Ahmad has the defensive capability to do the job full time. He's an attacking player. You know, we shouldn't be just shoehorning players into positions because they were forced to play there a couple of times. No. Dalot is a fullback. He's not a good right wing back. Mazraoui is a fullback stroke defender. He's not a good right wing back. He doesn't go forward, of course, guys. So there you go. A fellow fan, doesn't know nothing. Your fellow fan that said anything doesn't know crap. Tyborg, we earn about 100 million if we win Europa League and qualify for the Champions League. And we have earned a lot of already on reaching the semi-finals. Liars, that's what the owners are. They're liars, Tyborg. They forget we're going to get 30 million for finishing 13th in the league. You know, people they don't understand that. The money we get from Sancho, we're going to get. The money we get from Rashford, most likely. The money we're going to get from Anthony, most likely. They don't want to talk about that, do they? And the money we'll get if we win Europa League, Triborg, how much we're going to get? 130 million altogether. If we win the Europa League at the end of the day, you know. I feel Ruben will walk out of the club soon, if not given the players he wants. I mean, the problem is, Leeson, is that if he walks out, he'll miss out on a big pay packet, wouldn't he? I don't know if he'll do that. One thing you can tell is that Ruben Amorim's fed up. Ruben Amorim's tired of it. He's sick of it at the end of the day. Excuse me. And you can tell in his interviews that he needs more players. Excuse me. Yeah, he needs more players. You can tell. Steve. Hi, Sal. Doesn't Semenya play for Ghana? He'll be gone in the African nations, won't he? We got a few players gone in the African nations, Steve. Obviously got Mazraoui, Ahmad, of course, who are going to be gone for the African nations, which is a problem for Man United going forward. December, of course, I've heard December the 21st, wasn't it? So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a worry. Man United do need to look for players to cover those positions during that period. Obviously, we're quite stacked on the left wing back position at the moment. We've got obviously Leon. We've got obviously Amas as well, and Luke Shaw if he's available. Yeah, Ahmad is a problem, but we've done without Ahmad all season, haven't we? At the end of the day, big up, Koji. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. We often forget to be fans, just sideline managers. At the end of the day, look. At the end of the day, we are fans. We are fans, but fans talk about the game. Without the fans talking about the game, then what? You know, what? You're just going to accept Ineos and you're just going to say, okay. They're not going to give you a passport, bruv. You know what I mean? You might as well fight them. You might as well fight them and stop being so like, oh, okay, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. You're my buddy. You're my Manchester United, my owner of Manchester United. I'll do whatever I say. We're the fans. We make the club what it is. That's who we are. Do you know what I mean? We fight them. God damn it. You know what I mean? These people. Goodness, you want to be a winner in life, mate. Stop licking ass. Absolutely. So, you know what I would say, what I would say, guys, is that it's going to be a hell of a summer. It's going to be a hell of a summer, basically. Some supporters are cheerleaders that never question anything. Absolutely, I'm at. We on here, you, me, we're not cheerleaders. We debate, we question. How can you have success if you don't question? How can you do that? If you just accept it and sit back, it's exactly what Ineos want you to do. It's exactly what it's exactly what they want you, how they want you to play it. They want you to be shut up and be quiet. That's what they want. That's what they want. We're not here to shut up and be quiet. We're here to make a noise. We're here because we're Manchester United. We're here because many of us have supported this football club for decades, right? So many of us have supported this football club since the late 80s, like myself. I know the levels that Man United need to go to. I don't want to listen to some corporate bigot, you know what I mean, who's talking to me about just because he's got a British passport, he got the job. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't want him telling me and trying to sweeten things up for me. Do you know what I mean? It's not for me. At the end of the day, it's ridiculous. At the end of the day, guys. One bit of news coming in, as much of a pinch of salt as you want to bring onto it. Alex Buena. Alex Buena, of course, is a Villarreal Spanish international who plays as a left winger, as well as an attacking midfielder as well. Mr. Buena, obviously highly rated, 23 years old, part of the Spanish team that won the European Championships, of course. Extremely talented player. Now, Mr. Buena will cost around 50 million. Will cost about 50 million at the end of the day. And to be honest with you, it is a lot of money for Man United to be going forward. But obviously, this news broke yesterday in regards to Alex Buena. He is wanted by Man United. The great thing about Alex Buena, he can play left winger, attacking midfielder, and right winger. So he is incredibly versatile. So it is a kind of player that Man United will be looking at. But obviously, the price tag, 50 million euros, is quite steep. You know, it's not much more than Liam Delap, by the way. Liam Delap is going to cost 30, 50 and 30. Well, you know what I mean? It's not that much. It depends what you want, isn't it? At the end of the day, it depends what you want. You want a seasoned player, 23 years old, 8 caps for Spain, 2 goals, played all the way through the Spanish under-16 to the under-21 to the national team. And or you want a Liam Delap, or you want that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And to be honest with you, I would love a Buena. Not a Kinder Buena, an Alex Buena of Villarreal. I would love that, of course. I would love that more than anything. That would be brilliant. But obviously, it looks like they set their heart on stone in Liam Delap, and Liam Delap is that guy, of course, guys, at the end of the day. Natty, why are we not doing more effective to change the owners? We cannot sit there. Why are we not? I mean, at the end of the day, Natty, they have done. We are doing. And there are people out there. We're doing the sit-ins. We're doing the walkouts. We're doing everything we could possibly do. Are they doing enough, Natty? I don't think they're doing enough in regards to that, because there are movements that arrange these things. I don't think Manchester United are aggressive enough. Manchester United, for many, many years, have needed to empty that stadium. Have needed to empty the stadium, and they haven't done that. I created something many years ago called the 1958 walkout. I went to Old Trafford and we walked out in the 58th minute, right? We walked out of the ground, and many people criticized me. Many people slandered me. Many people said I was wrong to do that. But I tried my best, and I've done my best. I've made my movement. I made it. I've done it. I went up there, and you know what? It is a collective effort. Why are people in the USA who claim to be Man United fans not going to the Glazers' house in Florida? Why are they not doing it? And they claim to be big Man United fans. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, why don't they go to see the Glazers? Because the Glazers are so comfortable at the moment. You know what I mean? Why don't they do that? Absolutely. Leeson, if we can't afford Osimhen, how can we afford a Villarreal player? It's precisely it, Leeson. At the end of the day, it costs 12 million less, by the way. And the wages would be astronomical less as well, Leeson. It's the wages and obviously 12 million on top of that, which is less for Alex Buena. Absolutely. Tyborg, this summer will show us that Ineos is about, until now, it is mainly restrictions and crying. They must spend big if they have any footballing ambitions. Time will tell, but I am suspicious. Tyborg, you have to be suspicious, mate. You have to be. Because at the end of the day, you know, they're just going to spin everything at us that they've got no money type of gun. We know they've got money. We know they've got money, but they every single thing they talk about, and you can tell, is that they're talking about this is coming at the club. This is coming at the club. We can't afford this. We can't afford that, but we're brighter than that. We're brighter than that. We don't fall for that nonsense. Do you know what I mean? People fall for that nonsense and accept that nonsense that we got no money. We got no money. At the end of the day, we have got money, but they're lying to us. They're lying to us. No one will mention this. No one will talk about the fact that they're lying to us. No one's going to do that. You know what I mean? I will tell it as it is, that they're lying to you. They're liars. Big liars. And they just want to fill up their own pockets and the Glazers. Natty, it's more concerning when they say they will not change the transfer when we get Champions League or not. Very concerning, Natty. Well, it can work two ways, Natalie, isn't it? Well, basically, we're going to have a good summer anyway, regardless, or we're going to have a bad summer anyway, regardless, at the end of the day. If we get into the Champions League and I don't see any movement, I don't understand how 130 million won't make a difference. I don't understand that. If that's the case, then we all know what they're talking about, don't we? We all know what they're talking about. It means putting that money in the back of their pocket. That's what it is at the end of the day. We all know what it means at the end of the day, guys. They're going to put that money in their pocket. That's what they're going to do at the end of the day. And to be honest with you, it's disgraceful. Man United, if Man United qualify for Champions League, I want to see a marquee signing. If Man United qualify for the Champions League, we need to see a marquee signing. I want to see a marquee, a proper signing for Man United if we get into the Champions League. You know, I don't want to see Delaps and Dibblings, you know what I mean, and McAtees if we get in the Champions League. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'm swear to you, I want to see proper signings at the end of it if we do end up getting in the Champions League, which is going to be difficult. But guys, you know what? It is going to be a rough ride. We're going to have to question them every step of the way. Now there's rumors going around that the Cunha deal isn't quite as solid as it was first thought. We might not even get Cunha, guys. You know, I might not even get Cunha. So what are we going to get then? What are we going to get? Delap? Is Delap better than Ahmad? Is Delap better than Garnacho? Is Delap better than Højlund? It is very questionable, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. All right, it might be a little bit more effective than Højlund at the moment, but, you know, it's not like night and day. There is not much in it. If you're being honest and you're being real with yourself, there's not much in it, is there? Why we want City players who are exactly, Natty, you say it as it is. If these players are not working for City, why are they going to work for Man United? City are much more of a better run football club than us, right? So why are these players going to work for Man United, who are a toxic mess at the moment, but not work for Man City? It doesn't make sense, does it? You know it. It doesn't make sense. You know, we can sugarcoat it as much as we want to sugarcoat it. It's not going to make any sense at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Guys, it isn't, to be honest with you. But as we do, as we should, as every fan should, this is the democracy. Being a Man United fan is a democracy. We shout what our opinions. We give our opinions on everything. That is how it should be in football, right? This is not a dictatorship, right? We say how we feel in regards to Manchester United, especially us who put our life into supporting this football club. Do you know what I mean? So we have every right to talk about this football club. We have every right to talk about what direction we're going in, who we're linked with. Whether that happens or not, it is irrelevant. It gives you a clue as to what direction we are going in, and that is what's important. You know, if we're after Delap, if we're after Tibbling, if we're after whoever we're after Turkey, it gives us a direction. Okay, we're going that direction now. We're going the cheap route, are we? Is that how we're going? You know, it's sad, and don't be surprised, guys, if come the summer you see Liverpool sign Turkey. Don't be surprised if you see Arsenal sign Osimhen or Gyökeres. Don't be surprised if you see Chelsea sign Osimhen. It's going to happen, guys. And then we're going to be here like, oh, why are we not improving in the league? Why are we not getting better? What's going on? What's going on at the end of the day? Big up, Sam. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well, you legend. Hope you're good. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. They signed Delap not because he's better than Osimhen, because he's cheap. Absolutely natty. Everyone knows that Osimhen is a generational striker that will change Man United straight away. It will change Man United straight away. Who would you like to play against, right? If someone comes up to you and someone said to you, right, you could play against Osimhen or Delap. Who are you choosing? I know who I'm choosing, and it's not Delap. You know, because at the end of the day, I know Osimhen is a great player. And people are going to me, oh, he's because he's scoring in the Turkish league. He's done it in Serie A. He won the Serie A championship with Napoli. You know, people want to talk about that. Do you know what I mean? Look, so Serie A and Turkish league are not good enough. But playing for Ipswich Town, you know what I mean, he's good enough, and scoring a couple of goals here and there is good enough to play for Man United and lead the line for Man United at 22 years old. My goodness me, it's mad. I can tell you this, the summer window hasn't even opened and it's already looks a shit show. So typical Man United. It's so typical of who we're owned by, isn't it, Worksan? You know, at the end of the day, I'm actually thinking that this is going to be worse than the Glazers. And I never thought I would say that, Worksan, but I actually think this is going to be worse. You know what I mean? I hope they prove me wrong. I'm here to be proven wrong. That's why I'm here. I would love that, because if I'm proven wrong, that means that Man United have had a great summer. And that is all I care about, is the football club. I don't care about my opinion. I don't care about anything. I want them to show me up. I want them to go in that summer. I want them to go into that summer and show me that they truly believe in Manchester United being successful on the football pitch and not just in a business sense. I want them to show me that. You know what I mean? I want them to show me that, you know, we care about what happens on the football pitch. But I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. And, you know, at the moment, it's just looking like, oh, wait, no. Cross Duke Harris off the list? Nah. Cross Osimhen off the list? Nah. But Delap, yes. Delap, yes. Dibbling, yes. Yes, let's get Tyler Dibbling as well. Let's get him in there. Do you know what I mean? Really? Really? What is Wilcox? Is Wilcox just ex-Man City players? Is he just all about ex-Man City players then? Guys, if they want to scout, get me on the scouting board. I'll do it. I said about Mastantuono yesterday and many, many months ago. Why don't we sign Mastantuono? Why don't we get him? You know what I mean? My ceiling's far more higher, in my opinion. I'm not even one bit excited for the summer. United has zero excitement as it stands at the moment. Wuxan, it looks like a pile of negativity, doesn't it? And toxicity. It doesn't look great, does it? At the end of the day. And I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't this way. I wish we can look forward to the summer like we used to. You remember when we used to look forward to the summer? You remember when we used to have those transfer targets and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Back in the day when we were not run by these leeches. It used to be a beautiful time, the summertime. You know what I mean? It used to be lovely. And we used to have these exciting transfer rumors that were going around and stuff like that. It was lovely. Inside TV yesterday said Delap is complete package. Osimhen is not. Mate, listen, guys. I mean, I don't know what you mean. But Osimhen is not the complete package, but Delap is a complete package. How is Delap not a complete package, but Osimhen? How is Delap the complete package, but Osimhen is not? What does Osimhen lack that Delap has? I would like to know, what does Osimhen lack that Delap has? Please, I would like to know what that chubby fella said about that, because that is absolutely ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is the dumbest, deadest football knowledge I've ever seen. But no surprise who it comes from, isn't it? They don't really have a view on football or know anything much about football. They can't even look after their own cholesterol. So at the end of the day, how can they talk about football? At the end of the day, this is dumb, isn't it? Dumb opinion. Dumb. You can have your opinion like, you know what, Delap is the future. He's got more of a ceiling. But right now, it's more of a complete package. I mean, no. I don't think anyone in their right mind will say that. Hope they don't develop the chance window. They said before, absolutely, Leeson. I hope not. Cunha, Delap, Osimhen, never happening. Never happening. Never, ever happening. Ineos don't even got a list, mate. Absolutely. Ineos have got about 100 players on that list. Trust me, Woxan. They've got two lists, right? They've got a Champions League list and a non-Champions League list. You'll be scared when you see the non-Champions League list. If you saw that non-Champions League list, you would be absolutely petrified what we're going after. We got to win that Europa League. Would you pay 50 million for Dean Huijsen? Can you find anyone similar quality for cheaper? I wouldn't pay him that, Dean. Almac, I wouldn't pay that much for Dean Huijsen because I knew Dean Huijsen from when he played at Juventus youth team. And, I think that Man United need to look for these players. I actually feel that we got Aiden Heaven, we got Euro, we got Delap, we got Mazraoui. We don't really need another defender like that. I don't think that we need another 50 million defender at the end of the day. My opinion is I rate him highly, but I don't think we should be paying that much money for him. Bear me a second. It's my wife. Roxanne, when the summer was exciting was when deals were already wrapped up and my moves were already confirmed before the season ends. Gone are the days. I mean, even back in the day when we signed, even back in the day when we signed Dwight York and Karol Poborski and players of that nature, we did wait till a long time before. I mean, obviously, famously, Dwight York signed after the season started, didn't he? He started after the season started. He came to Man United. I mean, it wasn't always plain sailing. It wasn't always beautiful and deals were done, you know what I mean? But back in my day and stuff like that. But it was more... There was more of an excitement about the deals. There wasn't like, oh, we're worried about money, we're broke. We're worried about money, we're broke. For goodness sake, do you know what I mean? You know, look, I used to live in a house, right, in Chingford, in East London, right? You know, and I used to go to the same school as David Beckham in Chase Lane, right? And, there was one guy, I used to live in a flat, right? A house converted into a flat, right? And this old man used to live downstairs and he used to boil his socks to prevent using the washing machine, right? And he used to stink out the place by boiling his socks. So he was a mean guy. But he reminded me of Jim Ratcliffe, the way he is stingy, one of those guys. So what I did, me and my brother, we went into the back garden, right? And he had a pool there with his fish. And we got his fish and we hid his fish in the back of the shed with water. We didn't kill him, with water. And he came running upstairs. You touch my fish. Well, you touch my fish. You're gonna see what happens to you if you touch my fish. You touch my fish. How dare you touch my fish? It was an evil man. The only reason we done it is because he was an absolute horrible man. But it was he looked like Jim Ratcliffe. He was like Jim Ratcliffe. He used to suck on these Werther's originals, right? He used to suck on Werther's originals and he used to dress like Jim Ratcliffe. And he had money, but he never wanted to spend anything, So because we used to share the flat. When we used to share the flat, my parents, when they would go shopping, they would always ask him, because he's an old man, they would always ask him, do you want anything from the supermarket? Oh, yeah. Could you get me this? 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 But it would never go in his pocket and he would never give you any money. Never. Right? And he had inheritance from somewhere as well. And it was, and he never would give anything. This is Jim Ratcliffe to a T. This is Jim Ratcliffe. There is no guarantee we are not in this position unless the transfer change. Absolutely. We have broken all the negative records lately. Yeah, I mean, imagine how many records we've broken, Tyborg, in the last 12 years. If they don't invest heavily in the players after such a season, the outrage will be huge. They can't allow themselves not to spend. They can't do that. And they can't allow themselves not to back Ruben Amram. That's the most important thing. They cannot allow themselves. This is their guy. This is their guy. They need to back their guy. This is what it's about. They need to back their guy, and if they're not going to back their guy, it's insanity, isn't it, at the end of the day, and it would tell us everything we need to know. Who boils his socks in the 21st century? I mean, it was about 1990, Tyborg. It was about 1990. I'm showing my age a little bit, but it was about 1990, yeah. Definitely. But I do think that Jim Ratcliffe boils his socks. I do think he still boils his socks. I think Jim Ratcliffe doesn't own a washing machine. I don't think he owns a washing machine. I think Jim Ratcliffe boils his socks, boils his underpants. That's what he does because it saves money. He boils a kettle for a bath. That's what he does. You know what I mean? That guy, he doesn't even have a bath. He has a little bloody bucket that he gets into like this, and he huddles up like that with his skinny little legs like that, and he goes like that, and he huddles in like that. That is Jim Ratcliffe at the end of the day. Do I have faith in Vivian Wilcox could assemble a competitive team? I don't, Almac. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be real. I don't blindly support people at the end of the day, especially people associated with people who have basically slept with the enemy. I can't. I have cautious optimism that they can make something happen, that they can do something special. But I would not bet my life on them doing anything and changing Man United's fortunes. You know, if Man United are starting next season, you know what I mean? Man United should always be going after that title. Because I know what Ineos are doing at the moment. I know what they're doing at the moment. They're looking at this season, right? And they're thinking, yes, you know what? Next season, all we need to do is come 6th or 7th. It's an improvement, isn't it? We don't want that. Because that's when it becomes a habit. We're fucking Man United. That's what we need to think about. Do you know what I mean? We need to think about who we really are, who we truly are. We're Manchester United at the end of the day. I think they sacked Dan Ashworth because they do not have money to buy players. Dan Ashworth wanted some targets, and they didn't agree with those targets because Dan Ashworth had a bit of ambition. That's all it was. Jim Ratcliffe boils his socks in centres. I never thought I would hear that. Tybor, welcome to Stretford Post. Welcome. Yeah, he boils his socks, definitely. Trust me, mate. He got all those tins. He opens his window. He's like Mr. Bean. He opens his cupboard, right? He's got all tins of beans. You know, all these tins of beans and peas. You know, all these little, like that. You know. Who's ever seen that film, As Good As It Gets? He's basically like the guy from As Good As It Gets, Jack Nicholson. He's basically like As Good As It Gets, the guy from As Good As It Gets. He's basically like that, but a poor version. Do you know what I mean? A poor version. You know, and yeah, like he uses the soap all the way up to, you know, when the soap is all the way down to its last, when it's really, really thin, and the soap is about that big, and he's doing this with his soap. He's doing this with the soap. You know what I mean? Trying to get as much out of that soap as possible to get it. You know, that's what he's doing. I mean, goodness sake, that guy, man. Honest to God, I'm fed up with it. Honestly, I'm raised supporting my football club, you know, and I'm seeing other teams successful. I want to see Champions League, big Champions League nights. And I want to not only see big Champions League nights, I want to see Champions League nights where we're competitive and we're going after the games again, you know, like we used to. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything. I'm just seeing this clown show. It is a clown show. It is a bloody clown show at the end of the day. How about a swap deal, Bea? A swap deal for who? Swap deals are always notoriously difficult, Lisa, in regards to agent fees, etc. And obviously equalizing the FFP and PSR and things like that is obviously notoriously difficult. If Delap go to Chelsea, what do we do next? We have to get our scouting gear in order. You know what? What it is, Natty, there is South America, right? A continent, right? A Brazilian league, Argentinian, you name it. There's strikers out there. You just have to scout them. There's strikers in Scandinavia. There's strikers in Germany. There's strikers in Italy. There's strikers in France. Oh, Delap is gone to Chelsea. Done. That's it. The end of it. It's over. Done. You know, there's millions of strikers out there we can get. We can even go to Japan. You'll find a bloody decent striker over there. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? A swap deal between Garnacho and Osimhen, as Napoli still wants Garnacho. It's going to be complicated to do something like that. I wouldn't mind if it helps Amram, but it's down to Amram. I did mention about a swap deal between Garnacho and Osimhen a while back. It is difficult to do. It is very difficult to do, of course, guys. Mark, Ineos don't give a single fuck. There are hundreds of thousands of Man United fans waiting to replace you if you want to leave. Ineos and Glazer thinking, absolutely. I'm tired of Ineos. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the negativity. Have you noticed every single time they come on the TV, it's always about, oh, you know, we got to pay this. We got, at the end of the day, we ain't got no money at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's just every single time they come on, it's always a barrage of negativity. It's never like, well, luckily, we got some money coming in from the league position and we got some money coming in from... You're never going to hear that. You're going to hear, oh, well, at the end of the day, you know, we're full. Our hand is forced. Our hand is full. We got no money. Honestly. Morning, Grayo. What's going on, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you, of course. Yeah, so... Yeah, and we're cursed. We must be the most cursed football team. Guys, did you hear what Arsenal fans said? Did you hear what Arteta said? Sorry. Did you hear what Arteta said? Did you hear? All right, look, guys. Arteta said this, right? Mikel Arteta of Arsenal. He said this. He said this. Right. Mikel Arteta said, in regards to on the season, in pre-season, I asked the lads, Premier League or UEFA Champions League, what's the dream? They all wanted Champions League. We are focused on the trophy our boys really want so we can compete our history in Europe. Congratulations, LFC. But we will be there next year. You absolute blagger. You bottled it, Arteta. Stop trying to cover it up, you prat. Stop trying to cover it up. You bottled the league. Stop trying to sugarcoat it like you wanted to bottle the league. Stop trying to do that. You wanted, oh, we didn't want it anyway. What an absolute mug. What an absolute mug. This is the arrogance of Arsenal fans. Arrogance of Arteta. This is the arrogance of Arteta, guys. Accept it. We weren't good. You weren't good enough in the league. Right? Accept that. You're not going to win the Champions League. Don't worry about it. I bloody hope that PSG dump you out. I really do. I hope. I pray they dump you out. I really do hope. Ciao. Sal, some fans still have faith in Ineos. Ineos. Oh, but wait. What's that? Always blame the manager. And didn't even mention who bought the Amarim for the first place and didn't back him in January. Exactly, bruv. Exactly, bruv. They would do everything to blame the manager, but not put Ineos on a pedestal. You know what I mean? And put Ineos on a pedestal and blame the manager. That's what they'll do. Do you know what I mean? You know, other fan channels like that do, like Saeed and that, they indirectly kiss Ineos' arse. Because they're inferior to them. They have that inferior complex about themselves. You know what I mean? I mean, they're inferior to everyone, to be honest, when you look at them. But that is what they do. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, it's disgusting. You know, let's blame the manager again. It's just madness. Always next season, PSG, hopefully humble. Ciao. I've never wanted PSG to win like I want PSG to win this game. Either PSG or Barcelona to win this chump competition. I got my fingers crossed. I hope that PSG win it. Myself, I do. Because they are so arrogant. They think that they are literally winning this. They're winning this Euro Champions League without anything. They think they're given the Champions League. They think that's it. They're giving it. It's theirs already. No one needs. You know, they don't even need to play PSG. They're already through. That's basically what they're saying. What do you want? Do you want the Premier League or do you want the Champions League? Forget about the opposition. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, oh, we lost the league because of Liverpool because we wanted the Champions League. Wow. What kind of... Come on, guys. And there's people who blow smoke up these guys' arse every single week. If they lose that Champions League against PSG, I don't want to hear nothing. They need to just sit the F down. That's what they need to do because they would have won less than bloody... I hope, right, Amarim goes on to win the Europa League. And you know what? Arsenal win nothing. Again. Madness. Bigger fish to fry, child. Exactly. Come on, guys. Let's not forget. Let's try and get to 40 likes. Can we get to 40 likes, guys? Thank you so much. Hope Arsenal beat PSG, Sal, because they talk too much. The French, absolutely. Talk too much, the French, absolutely. I mean, I hope PSG beat them 100%. I hope they win it if they get to the final. I hope so as well. As long as it's not Arsenal. That's all I care about. Amram should try that same line. We decided that the Europa League is the real prize, so we didn't worry about the league position. He would be roasted on Sky. Imagine he said that exactly, Amak. Imagine he said, he's spot on there. Imagine Ruben Amram came out and said, look, we're not concentrating on the league because we're concentrating on the Europa League. He would get crucified, not only by the media, by our own fan base. They would crucify him. They will attack him. They would be like, what? How could he say that? How could he say that? The league is your bread and butter. The league is your bread and butter. Madness. Absolute crazy. It really is. If they pull like that, yes, Inter will be destroyed by Barcelona. I mean, my dream is for Inter to win the Champions League. I would love Inter to win the Champions League. I would love them to win the Champions League. I just don't think they're going to do it. But when you look at Inter, right? Inter are more successful than PSG and Arsenal combined in Europe, right? So they need to humble themselves. Well, Arsenal need to humble themselves. I don't see PSG talking too much, but Arsenal need to humble themselves. That's what they need to do. But first and foremost, they need to humble themselves. Thank you so much, Chow. Big up yourself. Thank you, brother. It's just the beginning, man. Thank you for being here since the beginning, Chow. Really appreciate you. Absolutely. It's been a hectic few months. We've gone up from 2,000 when I started to 10,000. We need to get out. We need to hit that 100K. We need to start getting up there. Next aim is 20K. We're gonna get up there. We're gonna roast it, guys. We're gonna absolutely roast it. That's what we're gonna do. But thank you everyone who subscribed to the channel, who supported the channel over the last few months. It's been absolutely incredible growth. It's because we speak truth. We don't sugarcoat anything. We don't have agendas. We just speak how it is. You know what I mean? We speak how it is and we speak from the heart. And that's where. And no one will stop us from speaking how we feel. Definitely not at the end of the day. Absolutely not. And yeah, thank you so much, Charles. Big up yourself. Yeah. But I'm looking at the poll right now. I've done a little poll, by the way, guys, in regards to who you want, who do you want out of the Ineos signings? So out of Ineos signings, so far, 52% of you want Delap instead of Semenyo. I'm a bit shocked by that. You want Delap instead of Semenyo. So 52% of you want that. Wow, that's quite impressive. You actually want Delap. You know what? Delap is going to be it's going to be very, very educational. Should I say educational, or should I say it's going to be very telling next season? If he doesn't put if Delap, look, I'm telling you right now, guys, and remember this, right? I'm telling you right now, if we start next season, Delap starts the season, and Delap haven't scored for his first 3 games, you're going to be like this. I guarantee you guys, some of these guys who are calling for Delap are going to be like this, right? They're going to be like, maybe we were better off with Rasmus. Maybe we're better off with Rasmus. You know that they're going to do that. You know 100% they're going to do that. Give it no time at all. They'll be like, oh, well, maybe we're better off with Rasmus anyway. This Delap guy, he's not it. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. You know what I mean? I hope he proves me wrong. I hope Delap comes into the football club and hits the ground running, scores goals, and we're like, yes, finally we got a goal scorer. It's going to be hard, guys. It's going to be difficult for Delap in this thing. Another cheaper option, 30 million for 20-year-old players, 21 players. It's a cheap option. But then, Charles, we can go to South America and get a player who's more talented for that price. You know what I mean? I was obviously talking about, Mastantuono yesterday. Been speaking about him for months. It's him. You know, there's loads of players in South America who are probably just as talented, you know, coming through the ranks and stuff that we could get, who could probably do a better job as a higher ceiling. It's what Real Madrid do. It's Real Madrid. It's like when they bring in the likes of Endrick and players like that. They bring in players that are a little unproven, but, you know, have a high ceiling, that are talented and stuff like that. You know, we need to do things like that more often, in my opinion. I really do think that. I think Man United are missing the boat with the South American market, and we need to do more in the South American market at the end of the day. Ineos want Delap. Does Amram want Delap? Probably not, Leeson. What I'm hearing is that he's not the first choice. Obviously, he's not the first choice. Obviously, if someone told Ruben Amorim, in all honesty, if someone went to Ruben Amorim and said, Ruben, what do you want? He would say Gutierrez, wouldn't he? He would say Trincao, wouldn't he? He'd say Diamande. He would say players like that, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be saying Delap. He wouldn't know who Delap was. He wouldn't know who Delap was. It's just like Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu, as I mentioned in this show, in the summer, was linked with Man United before Ruben Amorim walked through the door. So that was an Ineos signing as well. So this, you can guarantee that this is going to be an Ineos signing. So if someone said to Ruben Amorim, right, you can have Delap or nothing, he's going to say Delap, isn't he? He's going to say, just give me Delap. But it's not his first choice, is it? It's not the man that he wants at the end of the day. Amak, if you buy Delap, they should bring in Jonathan David. That would take the pressure off Delap because we can retire. I agree, Amak, but will they do that, mate? Will they do that? Will they actually do that? You know, will they bring in both? I mean, it seems like a great idea, but you know what? We're here to they're just here to penny pinch. That's what they're here at the moment. They just want a penny pinch on wages and things like that. Do you know what I mean? If you're bringing in a player like Delap, absolutely spot on. You need someone to nurture that player. You need someone who's going to show him a bit of experience, know-how. You know, it's invaluable. You know, but we don't seem to think like that. We think that a young player is going to come in, just like we did with Rasmus Højlund, just like we're doing with Xerxes. We expect these players to come in and we expect them to hit the ground running and do it themselves, by themselves. Do you know what I mean? When they need nurturing, they need a Cantona. They need someone who can teach them. You know what I mean? They don't have anyone. And we're not going to improve. Honestly, in your heart of hearts, do you think Delap is going to come in and improve Man United to the levels that we want to be improved? Do you think he's going to come in and he's going to make a big, huge difference? Big up, GK. Nobody in the right man would choose Delap over Osimhen. I mean, only a fool, but then again, you know what? Said is an idiot. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's what he is. You know, he's just a chubby chubs at the end of the day. And, you know, it's too much jello in his brain to be talking like that. Absolutely. I'm not saying that Delap is not going to be a good player, but you know what? This arse licking to Ineos is disgusting. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's what he's doing at the end of the day because he feels like he can get a job with them or something. Maybe they can give him a little job on Man United or something. Maybe they might call him for some promotional work on Man United. That's what he wants to do at the end of the day. Absolute sellouts. At the end of the day, no surprise. I wanted Brenner. He could fit the number 10 position. He is a natural creative left set. Another guy is on Sanka. Absolutely. Brenner's linked to Man United. Whether we get him or not is another story. But I'm just reporting the news, of course, guys, that he is linked to Manchester United over this last 24 hours. Big up SLD, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Give me Rory Delap, brother. At least he has some long throws, absolutely. Why don't we just play that SLD exactly? We get Rory Delap, throw it in the box, straight to Maguire. Set easy, done. Done and dusted. Dundee dusted. Absolutely, that's what we need to do. Simple. Just go route one. Why don't we just go route one again? Why don't we do that? Let's just all go route one. And let's just do that at the end of the day. That's what I would do. Just bring in Rory Delap out of retirement. You remember Rory Delap's throw-ins. Just do the throw-ins. That's it. And then straight onto Harry Maguire's head. Bob's your uncle. Goal. That's what we need. Can you imagine? Definitely. That is his dad, isn't it? That is his dad, isn't it? Rory Delap is Liam Delap's dad. So yeah, there you go. That says a lot at the end of the day. Maybe he's become a footballer because his dad is a footballer. You know what I mean? And I'm always wary about that. I'm always wary about your father or your mother was your uncle or whatever was a footballer, and you get favoritism because it's in the family. Your relative is a footballer because it's in the family. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Is athletic striker Sanchez injured? He looks injured, Natty. The one thing I would say, Natty, is that Nico Williams came on as a substitute in the game for Athletic Bilbao yesterday. Athletic winning 1-0, but the striker does look injured. But what I would stress in regards to the striker is that Athletic Bilbao don't really score many goals anyway, even with the striker. So I don't think we got much to worry about on that side of things. And they are very good defensively. But the biggest thing for me is if Nico Williams plays or not. Nico Williams came on as a substitute, so that means he could be fit for the Manchester United game next week, which is going to be massive. I would much rather Nico Williams miss the game than obviously the player their striker missed the game. Yeah, I think Nico's going to be back though. I like Abawadi, me too. Naipan as a development project and the bench players. We were linked to these players, but will they pull the trigger? Naipan looks like he's going to Aston Villa, Mac, at the moment. All roads point towards Aston Villa, which is a big miss for Man United. I'm a big fan of Naipan. I'm a big fan of Bawadi as well. Players we mentioned numerous times on this channel. But we just seem to be chasing one player, and this is the problem, Mac. We seem to be like, Delap. That's all we keep doing is Delap. You know what I mean? And we need to move on from that. We need to move on from just Delap. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and look at other players around the world. This Mbuemo Awisa was a nice tie goals where they are up. I think the case they're age 25. That's not real age. Could be fake age. Morning, Roy Mark. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Everyone, so your old neighbour sounds like Mr. Rigsby boiling his socks. Absolutely, God bless. Sound like you've seen some sights in your life. Roy Michael, I've seen some sights in my life. I lived in a women's beating home. You know where women go to get beaten up when they used to get beaten up by their husbands? When I was a kid, I stayed in one of those homes for a long time. Not because my dad was a wife beater, but we had nowhere else to go. When I was younger, I remember talking to these women who had domestic abuse. When I was just a kid and talking about, I moved from place to place. I wasn't setting around. I'm from Leytonstone in East London. Originally lived in a 1-bedroom flat for like 8 years, first 8 years of my life, and then obviously moved around. Lived in a car for briefly as well. So seen hard times, seen hardship. I haven't had it all on a plate like some people. Do you know what I mean? My belly doesn't flab like Saeed's belly. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you seen the other day doing this. You see him? Fucking honest to God, doesn't get up from that seat. Naiban's good for Aston Villa because they can have many midfielders who can help him develop. Manchester United need experienced players, but we're not going to get experienced players, are we? At the end of the day, we're not going to get anyone experienced. Delap is still developing. Yeah, he's 22. Of course he is. He's only played for Ipswich. He hasn't really made it at a big club yet. You're only in a position to say that you made it when you're doing it at a big club. And you know what I mean? At the moment, you have to say that he's still developing. You have to say that. I mean, you can't say that he's not developing at 22. He's developing. He's still at Ipswich. He has to come by Man United. He has to come to Man United, and he has to improve at Man United. There are levels to this game, And if he comes to Man United and he improves and he does the business, fantastic. But this whole business where, trying to gaslight us into thinking that Osimhen is not as good as Delap is the most stupid, dangerous opinion I've ever seen. At the end of the day, I would say that, to be honest with you. I think that's dangerous. You can't say that. Osimhen is way more seasoned than Delap. Osimhen is way more likely to get 20, 30 goals a season for Man United than Delap. And I hope Delap proves me wrong. But I know it's going to be extremely difficult because Man United are not just about what happens on a football pitch. We are a toxic mess as an environment. As a football club in general, we have so much negativity and toxicity going on at Man United. So much. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I don't know if Liam Delap is that guy to come in and completely change our fortunes and score 20, 30 goals in the season, which we dearly need. We don't score enough goals, do we? At the end of the day, we dearly need someone who can score goals, which we don't have. It's just sad, at the end of the day. It is sad. But you know what I would say is that all we can do is hope, guys, as Man United fans. How much better than Højlund is Delap? Is he better, Natty? Is he better? I don't know. How would Højlund play at Ipswich? Less pressure, no Man United stress. How would Højlund play at Ipswich? We don't know, do we? We don't know how much better he is. This is a punt. For me, this is a punt at the end of the day. This is like a chance we're taking, a risk. If he's better, he's not like miles ahead of Rasmus. Absolutely not. Same age. At the end of the day, is he better than Garnacho? Garnacho, Golden Boy winner, fight, you know what I mean? Copa America winner, at the end of the day, Puskas winner. Is he better? Changed the game in FA Cup final a couple of times. We have to look at that. We can't just say that, they're better because they're new. We have to look at, are they better than what we have? And this is the biggest problem that I'm having at the moment. Are they going to elevate Manchester United? Are these players going to be elevate Manchester United? Are they going to make us better? We got to remember that Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea are going to improve. They're going to buy proven. What is this obsession with Chelsea as well, guys? What is this obsession with us trying to compete with Chelsea? I don't understand it. We need to compete with ourselves. We need to make sure we got our own house in order before we start competing with Chelsea. It's ridiculous. Like how we're trying to fight off Chelsea for signings and stuff like that. I don't get it. It beggars me. It makes me feel like we're incompetent or something. You know what I mean? Which we are at the end of the day. And we are incompetent at the moment. This Man United, the whole wave Man United are run at the moment, it's incompetence, guys. Let me see your ratings. So still, you guys want Delap. 50% of you want Delap. 31% of you want Semenyo. I would prefer Semenyo, but 48% want Delap. 33% want Semenyo. Guys, well played. Good one. Look, you know what? There you go. Look, at the end of the day, whatever happens, guys, I'm going to support Delap. I'll support him like I support every single young player that comes to this football club. I will support them. I'm not going to give them a hard time, but I'm not going to put overriding pressure on them either. If it was Osimhen, I would expect goals. I would expect us to do things. I would expect him to score 20, 30 goals in the season. That's what I would expect. With Delap, I just can't see it happening, guys. I really can't see him scoring that many goals. I hope he proves me wrong. I really do. I hope he comes out there and he becomes a superstar at Man United. I really do hope that. I have nothing against the lad, nothing against the player. He's an ex-Man City player, another one, and look, Man United need better, but you know what? We have to just take what we can get at the moment. If we could sign the players that fit Ruben Amorim's system, if we get the players that fit Ruben Amorim's system, then great. If we get a right wing back, a midfielder, a goalkeeper, a defender, a number 10, and a striker, then we could say we're moving, guys. We're actually moving. We're actually supporting Ruben Amorim. It's not just about one player anyway. There are many players that we need to get in this squad to help Ruben Amorim, because at the moment he doesn't have his squad. He doesn't have players that fit his system. That is the problem at the end of the day. If this Delap did not work, then we can go on a market. Then stupid thing to do. If it doesn't work, then we're going to say we told them so, isn't it, Natty? We told you so. That's what we're going to say. Exactly that. We're going to say, well, we did say that it's not going to work, isn't it? We did say that at the end of the day, and it might not work, and we have to expect that it's not going to work. We have to expect that it might not work. You know what I mean? We have to expect that this might fall flat on our face. And we'll be like, well, we did say it, didn't we? We did say so, didn't we? Guys, thank you so much for joining me, you absolute legends. Please don't forget to, excuse me, subscribe to the channel if you're new and smash a like on the video. Still got a little bit of a chest cough. Still not good enough. I'm struggling all the time, struggling. It's been a bad one. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, you guys. Absolute legends. And keep your notifications on. I might be back for Chatterbox later on, depending how I feel. Obviously, with my flu that I've had this last week, it's getting a lot better now. Thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. And guys, I will be back anyway for the watch-along between Man United and Bournemouth. Of course, it is at the weekend. I will be what will be the time? 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. UK time. I'll be live on Sunday, which is great. Nice and early. Thank you so much. Thanks for the show. Big up, Grave. Big up yourself. Much love, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, I will be back nice and early on Sunday, but hopefully I'll be back later on today. tomorrow as well. You know what? I'll be here for Breaking Dawn and stuff. So, you know what, guys? Thank you so much for joining me. And you know what? Time is an education, isn't it? And we just have to wait and see what happens and see how this all pans out, of course, guys. Have a great day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Peace.